Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mills and you're watching the George family. So today I'm going to still be talking about renting a house in Brazil. I've gotten a lot of questions about renting a house in Brazil and I'm here to tell you the myths of renting a house in Brazil. I just want to talk about a few things. I'm just going to put a little bit of spice to what I've already done before. I've already done a video about renting an apartment or renting a house in Brazil, long term or short term. Alright, so I'm going to leave the link in the description section. And in that video, if you check in the description section, you're going to see a list of websites that I put that you can check out, especially OLX. They're very good. They have a lot of renting deals, so you can check it out. All right, but if you're coming to Brazil on vacation like a week or a few months, then that's okay. But if you're coming to live, like let's say 6 months plus or like long term permanently, that's one of the most difficult things to get in Brazil. Accommodation is something that is a very stressful situation in Brazil. All right, if it was very easy for you, you can leave in the comment section. I was having a very hard time from the beginning to get an apartment or to get a house. Renting an apartment depends on the area where you are, and most people are, because they want to go in for less expensive houses, and many people that are on budget, they want to live away from the center. These major cities and very popular cities like Sao Paulo, Florianopolis, Rio, Minas Gerais, Belo Horizonte, and all those different cities are very expensive, so you need to have that in mind before coming to Brazil. It's very important because accommodation is something that you need. If you're coming for short term, I try to recommend a website called Airbnb, but that's good for if you want to rent out Airbnb for a month or let's say 2 months. But if you're going to leave more than that, then Airbnb is a little bit expensive. All right, but it is stress-free because you don't need to present CPF, you don't need to present income and all those other things for short term. I'm going to start with rental prices. So you have to put in your mind, like rent in Brazil is high. Condition your mind, at least 1,000, even if you're single, at least 1,000 plus. If you get less than that, then it's a miracle. Also, you need to come when the peak season is lower. For example, now is December. December is a high peak season. So obviously rentals, hotels and everything is very expensive. So if you want to rent a house, you need to get the timing when to come into Brazil. Most people that I loan, they want to go in for shared apartment. Shared apartment is good because other places are being shared, like the kitchen, the living room and all of that. That is okay for somebody who is single, but then I really don't advise that because if you're going for a shared room, you don't know who you're going to live with. Shared apartments or private rooms are very hard to get by. Most of the times it goes with short term, maybe 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. If you're lucky, you can get a long term. There's also a disadvantage with that because if you're coming in and you get like a shared room or you get like a private room, most of the times if you're sharing with somebody, the lease doesn't carry your name, or the agreement, the contract doesn't carry your name, except you're going through maybe Airbnb. If you're getting a private room or a shared room, it's good that the person should give you a contract on that, because it's good when you're applying for many things like residency and all those things. They always ask for proof of address and you need to prove your address. It's good to have the contract so you can also pay like little bills and all those things, because you might be asked wherever you want to go. Now when it comes to long term, to get a long term contract, you need to prove income. Even if you're not working, maybe you're a business person, most of them want like the income should be twice or thrice the amount for the rent. So for example, if the rent is 1,000, you should be earning like 3,000 here. Right? I don't know about the other states, but I'm talking about Florianopolis. But I know that that's what's happening, because if it's in one place, then that should be common for everywhere. The next thing is the guarantor thing. It's very difficult to get a guarantor because most of the times they're like, if you have to get a guarantor, the guarantor should be earning 3 times the amount of the rent. Okay, so again, if your rent is 1,000, guarantor should be earning 3,000 plus. Most of the immigrants here don't have a guarantor. So in that case, if you have a credit card, you can use that, and the credit card limit should be 3 times the amount. Or you decide to pay an insurance that will cover that. And to pay an insurance, most of the times, depending on the apartment or the house, you're going to be paying like 10%, others 20% of the rental amount. Let's say for example 1,000, you don't have a guarantor, you can pay 10% of that. The next thing I want to talk about is a condominium tax. That's something in Brazil that is really mind-blowing as well. Normally if you get like an unfurnished apartment, the unfurnished apartment normally will be cheaper than a furnished apartment. Normally if you put up all this like condominium tax and all those things, you see that the amount boils down to maybe just a difference of 300 or just difference of 200. And for the unfurnished, you need to furnish, you need to put everything inside. Most of the long-term apartments partially furnished. The condominium tax, it mostly goes to people like that living in a condominium, right? So if you're living in a condominium where you have playground, swimming pool, gym, and all those things, you have to pay, as well as the water that they use to clean the condominium and all those things, the light, electricity, all of you have to pay for it. So you need to pay condominium tax. If you're just renting a house, most of the times you don't have to pay like condominium tax, because a house is just a house. If you're renting out an apartment in a condo or a condominium, then you need to be paying this condominium tax. Your rent could be like 1,000, and then the condominium tax will sum up to 500. So at the end of the day, you pay 1,500. Your house could be 2,000, but at the end of the day, you have to pay condominium tax. You pay like 2,500. Some people even charge up to 1,000 for condominium tax. Next thing that I really want to talk about is this thing about the queue. After you have gotten the houses that you want to get, don't get only one, all right? Get a lot of them with the same price range, because when you get just one, you might be embarrassed at the end of it. Maybe you might lose it at the end. Why? There's something called the queue. There are apartments that you see online, or the condominiums that you see online, or the houses that you see online. Most of the times there are many people that are going in for that house. So what happens is, after you get the house online, they ask you to come and visit it. Other people are also coming to visit. Normally we have these brokers that will advertise the same house. You can see it here for 2,000, see another website for 3,000, and so on. These are different brokers. So what happens is, these people bring different people to view, and after you view it, you don't just get the house immediately. Even if you like the house, if you like the house, fine, they'll tell you now to fill a form, register, and then your registration will be queued. If the first person who went to the house doesn't accept it, then you. So it's just like a waiting list. Now when they get to you, they'll start assessing your documents. If you don't have all those things, they're still going to send you a mail like, you don't fit into this category to get a house. So getting a house in Brazil is a very tiring process. If you want to look for a house, or you want to move from one house to the other, you have to start doing that maybe 3 months or 4 months to when you're thinking of moving. You need to be very sure of where you're going to and the time frame. Most of them will take at least 1 year. Some houses will take at least 2 years. So make sure you read all of that before you want to go in to rent a house. So I've been getting a lot of questions about this accommodation thing, this rental thing, and all those things. For short term, you'll be needing only your CPF, right, and your passport. But for long term, then you'll be needing all this. Like I said, I've done a video already about this. You can check it out in their description section. If you want more clarification about this thing, you can leave a comment. If you have any experience in any other city, you can also leave in their comment section. I've come to the end of this video. Like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment if you want to know more about living in Brazil. In that same light, hi.